Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're gonna take a look at the newly released Pomo here in the Ultra League. And this Pokemon was very difficult to get because you have to walk 25 kilometers with this Pokemon as a buddy to get this one. And yes, I did this all today, and yes, I did this all during like crazy sun and like, yeah, very warm weather. So yeah, I'm a little bit tired from that all, but yeah, it took me around 6 hours, I think, to get the 25 kilometers done today, but at least I was able to also catch 1,200 Pokemon at the same time and get a ton of Stardust. But this was definitely a struggle, so if you appreciate the type of content that I can bring here to you and showcase all the new Pokemon, then feel free to leave a like on the video as well as subscribe. I only have around like 40% of you actually subscribe to the channel, so it would be nice if we can get there a little bit closer to the 100% of course. But yeah, today we're gonna take a look at the newly released Pomo. This Pokemon is kinda interesting. It's, I think, the first electric and fighting type Pokemon as far as I know in the game, and I don't actually know if you see it all already. Maybe we already missed some of the stuff, but if you saw the video earlier, or for example here right now, you saw that I was insanely unlucky with the matchups, and here today we're gonna be insanely unlucky with debuffs against us and debuffs for us as well. Here, 2 scalds, of course, 2 debuffs immediately from my opponent, as we're gonna go ahead and go for our Zap Cannon here, which might allow us to survive some falls from the opponent if we're gonna get the debuff here, and we of course not gonna get it. And this is going to be a common theme throughout the entire video, which is insane. I was never that unlucky before, and you know I'm always unlucky, so that's kind of funny. But yeah, we're gonna take a look today at the team here right now. Going to be Pomo in the back as a closer, because you see the moveset, close combat as well as wild charge is going to give you an insane coverage for this meta, as well as both moves are stab, so like basically they're gonna do a ton of more damage. You're very attack rated as well as Pomo, so this is an insane glass cannon to nuke opponents away, and I was all for it, and I literally like this Pokemon quite a lot. But we're gonna talk a little bit about the one big weakness for it, and this is Spark. I basically said before in the beginning of the season that Spark kind of got buffed, to be fair, which was mainly related to like Lantern having this move. But for in general, if like other Pokemon have Spark, it's not directly a buff, because you kind of only have a Spark buff if you're a very bulky Pokemon that can take hits, that does not really have to get to the charge move that fast, and rather appreciates some fast move pressure. Here, it's completely the opposite. For Pomo, it would be so much better to have a higher energy generation than like a lot of damage from the fast move, because you're not going to be in a lot of times a scenario where you can just spark down something. So yeah, here it's definitely a nerf for Pomo, sadly, that Spark got basically reworked. Compared to, for example, for Lantern, where it's more of a buff, to be fair. So yeah, here we're gonna see, sadly, that we are not going to be able to get to any move. We also tried to go for a Zap Cannon there before, which didn't get the debuff against the Dragonite again, of course, because why not? So yeah, it's definitely a little bit of an unlucky game so far, but we actually had some very decent wins here as well, so definitely take a look at those as well. As you're going to encounter Greninja in the lead, I have to say, I also didn't play every game perfectly fine there as well, but I was also a little bit tired after walking 25 kilometers today. So here we're gonna see the Greninja going for 2 Hydro Cannons most likely against us, as we can take those moves fairly easily with our Registeel, the bulkiest Pokemon here for this meta, as the opponent makes a great play and catches the move onto the Clefable. And this was, I think, the most ridiculous game of them all. Take a look at this, like, great catch by the opponent, like, don't get me wrong, really nice there. They go for the Moonblast, 10% debuff chance. Of course, very nice, but you're going to see it even further, like even crazier. Here we're actually gonna get the debuff onto the opponent as well, which is very nice. But now we're gonna use no shield here. Actually, no, it's going to be just a Meteor Mash, but I can go into my Pomo now, get the full farm on these with Spark, which is going to be nice. I'm going to use a shield for the Moonblast. 10% chance still to get the debuff. Of course, back to back. This is a 1% chance to happening. And I might be able to just farm down the entire Greninja here if I would. Yeah, I think I might have been actually able to just farm them all the way down if I didn't get the debuff onto Spark. But yeah, like this, we are not going to be able to. And like this, the matchup completely going to shift, as we now going to have the Charizard against our Magisteel here, as they're going to go for the undercharged Dragonclaw. A little bit too much for them, because now they're going to be forced to go for another charge move. We're still going to have a lot of energy here right now, but not enough to get to 2 moves yet, and now we're going to be able to get to 2 moves, but they are perfectly swapped into the Clefable, and like this, I cannot do anything again. Like, great swaps by the opponent, but what was the debuff luck there? This was a 1% chance to get a back-to-back Moonblast debuff onto the attack, and I'm fairly certain for Pomo at least, it actually mattered quite a bit, because I most likely would have been able to just farm on the Greninja then. But yeah, this is just basically the tip of it, but we're still going to have a lot of decent wins here, don't get me wrong, like it's still going to be fine. We're just going to have like the ridiculous games here in the beginning. It seems like the order's always randomized, by the way, so like I don't pick the, usually at least I don't pick the positioning of the games here. We just gonna take what we're gonna get, but we're gonna see now the Brave Bird here coming through from the Pidgeot, gonna get a ton of damage, but of course they're going to survive with 1 HP here, and we are going to have to use another shield as they're now gonna go down. Actually, it was a little bit more than 1 HP, so I definitely lied there to you, but I can still go for a Feather Dance here against the opponent's Walrein. Now Pawmot can come in here and go for the full farm down, at least not full farm down, at least we can farm down quite a bit, as they're gonna go for the Icicle Spear. I just wait for them to go for another one, because like this I can just build up to 2 charge moves, and if the opponent has something in the back that I can deal with, I should be kind of fine, because here right now they're going to let this move go through. We're going to see the Charizard coming in. I can go for another Wild Charge, and I will be able to now go into my Pidgeot and go for the debuff, right? Maybe, maybe not. I think this is a little bit too obvious to go for the debuff here right now. So my play is shield the Dragon Claw and go straight for the Brave Bird. And this was definitely the right play here, as we're going to be able to just one-shot the opponent's Charizard. Next opponent, I play this game very badly, I think. Yes, exactly. We're going to see a Muk coming in. I have no idea why I didn't swap into my, what's called my Registeel there. I thought I would outspeed them and I would have been able to just get to another move there or whatever and just get them low. But, like, there's no reason for me to do this. It doesn't make sense at all. So this was definitely my own fault to not go ahead and just go for the swap into the Registeel immediately. Totally my fault there. Like, I don't know why I did this, what I did there, because it doesn't make any sense at all. I swapped at the end anyway, and like this is going to be such a tough matchup, but we're going to see the Dark Bolts coming through here right now. We're going to have some lag there, but I can go for the Focus Blast and knock them out. So this is going to be okay here. But let's see what they're going to do. They're of course going to go back into the Virizion. I can definitely reach another Focus Blast, as this move not going to knock me out here. It's going to be the Sacred Sword. So this Focus Blast is going to do around 40% of the opponent's health here, as this is going to do actually a little bit more, a little bit like 45%, as we can now go ahead and go for the debuffing move with my Pidgeot. Again, not really the smartest idea here, because of course I'm not going to shield, and we're going to see the Sand Slash coming in. It does not really make sense what I do here again. I should have just went for the debuffing move, so I might be able to survive those moves with Pawmot a little bit easier, and maybe go for a Spark Down. So literally, the entire game, I completely misplay everything, but at least here, I was able to land the CMP tie against the opponent's Sand Slash, which is kinda nice, because like this, we're going to waste some energy of the opponent. You might think, why did I let my only answer against the Sand Slash go down? Because actually Brave Bird is my only answer here. Brave Bird is going to do enough damage to really knock them out here, and we're gonna get there faster, but sadly, we have a CMP tie issue here right now, and the opponent has a move start onto the Virizion. So we're sadly going to get knocked out by the Virizion, right? Never mind. The opponent just doesn't decide to go for a move, or most likely the game just bugged for them and they were not showing the move to him or whatever, so yeah. Next opponent, very strong opponent, by the way. I know that they competed, I think, as far as I know, in a lot of tournaments in the US or something. As far as I know, at least. I think I remember the name. So here we're going to now see the Steelix against us, which is going to be a little bit tricky, because we're going to have like a small double weakness against them, because Pawmot, of course, is a part electric type and going to get definitely some decent damage from an Earthquake. But I will be able to go for a close combat, and like this, at least we're going to see that the opponent going to swap out here for whatever reason, which I didn't really get why they did this, but allows me definitely to get a shield advantage here right now. And I will take this, as we're gonna get the opponent for sure into range for a Zap Cannon. We're gonna go ahead, go into our Registeel, which can easily take 2 serves without a problem. Gonna put us around like the yellow health range here after they are done with their second serve. So let's take a look how we're going to knock them out here. Can we still outspeed them? We can outspeed them. Okay, that's going to be nice. We can go ahead and go for a charge move here. Zap Cannon comes through, and we'll see the final Pokemon going to be Galissapod. I'm swapping out here right now, because I feel like this is my best bet here right now. I'm gonna go ahead and try to let those moves go through, and hopefully I can farm them all the way down. Let's see if I can do this. Of course, I'm gonna lose the matchup here basically with 1 HP, which is really annoying, but at least I'm going to have 100 energy right now, and I can go straight for the Brave Bird, which they did not expect at all. But now I'm going to have to try to still get to another move, and I should have went for one more fast move first, because like this, I'm not even baiting the potential of Brave Bird. They know this, of course, the opponent is a very good player. player. But I'm going to call the bait here, and then my game just decided to go ahead and close itself here for whatever reason, which I did not really understand, but at least we're going to be able to now go ahead and go for a Zap Cannon against the opponent. Luckily, we're actually going to get the attack drop here, which can be beneficial for us if they're going to not knock me out with this one, and I don't think this degradation comes even close. Of course, they're going to get the defense drop, because why not? But at least we're going to be able to win this game here as well, as we can now move on into the next game, where you're going to have the Alone Sandslash against us. This is going to be a very interesting one here as well, as we're going to have now the Ice Punch coming through, going to do no damage against us because we're able to swap into the perfect Pokemon here right now. But of course, the opponent can still go for the super effective Drill Run, which is going to put us into range for another one, but sadly they're going to swap out now into the Giratina, which we have to go for the Zap Cannon, but luckily we're actually going to be able to get the debuff here, which I did not really expect. So, let's see what's coming up next. We're going to see this Shadow Sneak coming through, and I kind of want to keep my Registeel alive. And you see me here overfiring me way too much energy on my Registeel, but I didn't want to give up any energy on this Pokemon, because I'm fairly certain that I'm going to want to use it later on anyway. So here I'm going to be able to go for a Brave Bird immediately, and like this I should be able to farm them all the way down in time, but they might want to swap out here and lock themselves into their into their Alolan Sandslash, where we can at least go ahead and go for a Feather Dance, or just going to get the attack drop onto the opponent, as the opponent gonna go now for the Ice Punch, of course, going to get the knockout against us. But we're going to be able to go for a Focus Blast. Hopefully we're going to get the knockout here as well, but we don't. They're going to use a shield. Now it's down to Pomo. Can Pomo win this game for us? We have to find out right now, and I'm going to see the Drill Run coming through here right now, so I'm going to use a shield, and I will hopefully be able to shield up another Drill Run here. No, it's going to be an Ice Punch. Can we still win the game though? It's going to be the Golisopod coming in. This is going to be insanely close. Let's see. We will be able to go ahead and go for the Wild Charge here. Double Wild Charge is going to get the knockout for sure. This is doing so much damage right now against the opponent. We're gonna get the opponent low, but it is low enough where I can just lock on them down. It's going to be very, very close. They're gonna go for the Drill Run here, and can we lock on them down? We cannot. I needed to keep the energy for another Pokemon in the back, so this is sadly not going to be it. We will be able to at least now move on into the next game, as we see the opponent's Giratina against us. This is going to be a little bit of a tougher one. We will see that we can go for, hopefully, a Brave Bird again, but I just don't like this matchup. Even though it's, on paper, a very good matchup for us, I just don't really like this, but I think it's also mainly because of the IVs that I have on my Pidgeot. My Pidgeot has a very bad IVs, as you can see on the right side. I still have a 100% one laying around, but I'm not sure if I want to spend 500k Stardust just to build another Pidgeot for the Ultra League. At least not yet, because it's like a very low level Pidgey that I was still having there with 100%. So maybe eventually I will do this, but here we're going to see the Tapu Fini coming in, and you might see, of course, yeah, I'm not going to go into the Pawmot, because, yeah, Pawmot is going to have the Fighting typing, which is definitely weak against the Fairy typing, so I don't want to get hit by a Moonblast. And here you see, by the way, how little the damage of a Surf is now after the double debuff. It's literally like tickling the Registeel a little bit there, but we will see the Zap Cannon getting shielded here, which I did not expect, and we see the opponent swapping out into the Giratina, which is interesting as well. As they're going to go for another Shadow Sneak, I'm going to be able to take the next move as well, and I should be able to just swap out here after this one, and I do exactly not that. For whatever reason, I didn't do this. I just think I didn't see that my Pokemon was up already, so this is not the ideal scenario that I wanted to have here, but maybe I still have a chance later on. We will find out here, hopefully, as I can swap out now into the Pidgeot to farm them down. But I don't know why I didn't do this earlier. Like, I had literally the chance for that already way earlier, so that was definitely a misplay by me, for sure. And they're going to use another shield here. So you know what's happening right now. We're going to have a Pomo with 2 shields. And we have Spark, which is going to do more damage. So in this case, it's actually beneficial for us. And we will see the full farm down against the Tapu Fini, as they're going to use another shield, as we are very squishy. Like, this boy is very, very squishy boy. We will be able to get the knockout here, and let's see, the opponent comes back in with a Giratina. I get the knockout here, and what do they have in the back? We will never find out, and I find this so sad, because like, if you play against me and you're going to have something weak in the back, please stay in so I can get the nuke onto this. This would be such a cool short, and then they don't even allow me to do this. Like, how? This is so unfair, man. I wanted to have a cool short with Pomo, man. I don't know why, but yeah, we're going to have here a horrible matchup for us. We're going to see the Virizion coming in, but is it actually that bad? We will find out shortly, because they can go for the Sacred Sword, but we can go for the Focus Blast, and this next Focus Blast is actually coming through. and they're going to go ahead and use a shield. So maybe, just maybe, we still have a chance here. It's going to be a little bit of a rougher one because we already know that they're going to have Heliolisk in the lead, which completely hardwards our lead of Pidgeot. So we're going to see the Verzian coming in. We're going to be able to go for the full farm down here, but of course they're going to have so many Sacred Swords that I don't want to get hit with on my Pomo. And you see that I'm going to actually stay in here. I thought of swapping out and get more energy on my Pomo already, but I kind of wanted to keep just the option to have a Brave Bird for later on in the back. But of course, now it depends on what they have in the back. But we're in such a bad spot because the opponent has here the new Dragon type move, Breaking Cyber on this Pokemon. And this is going to get the guaranteed debuff onto us. And as we can see, they're going to have the Jellicent in the back, which would have been a very cool matchup for us if we were double debuff. Like, we would have one-shotted most likely with the attack of Pomo and the Wild Charge. But yeah, if you're double debuff, there's not a lot that you can do about it, and I'm going to forfeit this game. As we can move on into the final one. If you're still here, thanks so much for watching the video. I really appreciate it, as we're going to see most likely the worst executed battle from me. Why do I stay in here? I don't know. I literally have no clue. We're gonna see the Weather Ball coming through though. We can go for the Brave Bird against the opponent here, as this is gonna get a ton of damage onto them. And I can swap into my Pomo. This should only be the Weather Ball, which we can take. And we will see the opponent's Galissapod coming in. I'm going to try to see P-tie against them, and this works out amazingly as well. As now I can let my Pomo go down, keep the energy advantage, keep the shield advantage, like the energy advantage. I think I have a little bit of energy at least on my what's called the Pidgeot, and I made make a huge mistake, and you didn't even see the mistake most likely, but I expected that the opponent went for Liquidation, but they actually went for the Aerial Ace, which means that they have way more energy than I thought they would have, and here you can see why I maybe was a little bit surprised about how fast the opponent's moves came through, because I was so sure that they went for Liquidation, which they didn't do, and like this is going to be a very tough matchup to win now. If I just played this matchup in any of the other ways already a little bit better, I would have been in such a good spot, and I just completely misplayed this game. This would have been such an easy one to win, but honestly, I'm a little bit sorry because I'm a little bit tired from 25 kilometers today, but we will be able to get the Brave Bird against the opponent, and let's see what's coming in against us. It's going to be the Ninetales. They make a great swap here. I would have been able to knock them out otherwise. And yeah, this is going to be sadly it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Also, check out the new Bex Caliber, which I was able to showcase already earlier. It's on the screen right now, and I see you then. Bye bye.